When something happens and you get triggered, your body instantly goes into a survival response. Somatic tools can help you complete the cycle and move back into a sense of safety and calm within minutes. But using the wrong tool for the survival response you're in can actually make things worse. In this video, I'm going to show you how to meet your nervous system where it's at every time, even if you're not sure exactly which survival response you've gone into. I'm Cedar from Cedar Sacred Well. I'm a somatic practitioner and nervous system coach. And so you need to know that there are a few different survival responses that you could go into. You don't get to pick which one. Your nervous system is just going to choose for you based on whatever it thinks will help you survive, which is great because our nervous system is amazing at helping us survive. But what it's not so good at is helping us to thrive and be calm and present and heal and all of those other lovely things when we get stuck in these loops of stress. So something happens, you find yourself triggered, maybe something didn't happen that you needed to happen, and you've got this rush of energy. You're either feeling very activated or alternately you're feeling kind of shut down and checked out. If you don't complete that survival response somatically, it can actually get stuck in the body and your nervous system doesn't understand that you're safe again. And it'll keep running that survival biology, which can have some really negative health outcomes down the road. You can learn a lot more about the different survival states, what happens when they become chronic, and the tools to use for that in my Decode Your Nervous System mini masterclass, which is free at the top of my website, and I will link that below, so please check it out. For the sake of this video, I'm not going to actually talk about the different survival states because when you're triggered, that's a lot of information to pull up, and honestly, you don't need to remember that. I'm going to show you a really simple key on how to follow the impulses of your body and let your nervous system actually guide you on what it needs. So the important thing that I do just want to point out is that often when we get really activated, we think we need to do the opposite and calm down. So you might have this rush of energy, feeling really tense, and you're like, wow, I really need to calm down. I'm going to sit down and meditate and try to clear my mind. And that's probably not going to work super well. Alternately, you might feel really shut down and frozen, and you're like, I'm frozen. I need to get out of this really uncomfortable state and get moving and get active and get energized again. So I'm going to do a whole big shaking practice, or I'm going to go for a run. That's actually counter to what the nervous system is asking you to do, and it can actually make you feel more triggered or prolong this experience longer. So the thing you do want to do is listen to the impulses of your body and what they're telling you. I'm going to give you some examples of what that could look like so you can recognize it and use these tools the next time a trigger happens. We unfortunately train ourselves to ignore the impulses of our body. When we're growing up, we're kind of indoctrinated out of this intuitive body wisdom that will often show little kids, children, exactly what they need to do to regulate. So if you might see a kid like shaking when they're scared, or curling up in mom's arms when something happens. So we need to tune back into those subtle signals that might be really hard to hear at first, but they're still there and they can still guide us, even and especially when we're in a more intense state and we are triggered, or we've got, something really big that we're dealing with. So I'm going to walk through a few examples that relate to each of the common survival states. And when you see one that you recognize, then just file that away and remember to return to this video when the next time you get triggered, or just remember some of these tools. So the first survival state that I'm going to talk about is a fight state, but again, don't worry about that. You don't need to remember that. It might feel like a tension in your upper body, especially tension in the face and jaw. You might feel your face getting hot, like a flush coming on. You might be clenching your hands. There might be a lot of tension in your arms and hands, in your belly or torso. You might be kind of holding yourself very, very still or very tense. You might also feel an impulse to speak, maybe an impulse to yell, to raise your voice, to argue. So the body is saying, I want to move. I need to activate these muscles. I need to activate the face. I need to scare off this person or this threat. I need to fight it off. I need to defend myself. So what can we do in that case? A motion of pushing, of punching. So using the upper body, using the arms, those muscles that are being activated, you want to actually engage them, pushing away from the body, either forward or to the sides, and especially if you want to do that while vocalizing. So that could come out as a growl, it could come out as a yell, as maybe a scream even. So just letting the sounds move through your body if they're feeling like they want to do that, and letting especially the arms, the legs, the torso, the upper body, the face really move and engage. You can see that I'm moving my mouth a lot here. I'm kind of letting a breath come out. So those are just a few tools that you could use if you feel this body impulse to engage in a kind of like forward, upward motion, and there is energy in the face and the arms and the hands. Also, breathing out really strongly, kind of like letting the breath whoosh out, letting the arms shake out, brushing down the body, shaking out the arms. Those can all be great tools. Similar but slightly different is the flight response. So this is also going to engage the big muscle groups in the body, but it might feel more intense in the legs. So you might feel a lot of energy in your legs. Maybe your legs start tapping. You could also have like your hands tapping, but often it's like a knee tapping on the ground, something like that. There could be other types of kind of jerky movements of the body that maybe aren't completely conscious or intentional. You might find yourself looking down, looking away, looking back, kind of looking around quite a lot. And sometimes the shoulders will come forward and there's kind of like a defensive or pushing away posture that happens. So this is because the body is trying to escape. It's trying to flee. It's looking for, where can I go? It's getting the muscles ready and the legs to run. And it's just getting ready and getting activated to run away. So one practice, if you're feeling that kind of forward defensive posture, is to actually push away again, but backing up. So we're backing up the body and pushing forward. We're giving ourselves space, separating ourselves from whatever the threat may be. Again, rubbing, shaking can feel really good. And then running in place. This is a really great one. You can also go for a run if that's in your capacity. You can do this as well laying down or in a chair if running standing up does not feel good to your body, is not in your capacity. The main thing is you're going to slowly let the movement slow down. So you might start very intense, very fast, and then just let that movement naturally slow down. Another practice is scanning the horizon. So looking back and forth, scanning across the horizon, also touching the body, squeezing the edges of the body, giving yourself some pressure or patting and tapping around different parts of the body can be also a really good practice in this state to just kind of help you find yourself in the present moment again. As with any of these practices, you're following the impulse of the body. So if the legs feel like they want to move, let them move. If the upper body wants to move, then let that move. And then once a little bit of that energy has dissipated, a great practice is orienting. So just slowly, really as slow as you can, looking around your space, all sides of you and up and down. I have a recorded practice of orienting in another video as well. Engaging all of your senses, so your sight, scanning around visually, and then listening. What can I hear? What are the sounds in my space? What are the sounds farther away? Smelling the air, noticing what do I smell? What do I taste? You can name certain things that you see, hear, smell, touch, touching the body, touching the things around you, the surfaces around you, noticing where you are in space can be really helpful as well. So those are the two activated states, the sympathetic states, we could call them. And in both of them, you're going to have an impulse towards movement and motion. And that might look a little bit different depending on which state or just depending on the person and the situation. But you want to go ahead and lean into that impulse. So moving the body, moving the parts of the body that want to move, whether that's the face and the arms, the legs and the feet, letting that movement actually happen, and then slowly, gradually slowing down, softening the movement as it feels comfortable and natural to do so. And you may actually have a few different waves where you're moving more quickly, more intensely, and then letting that kind of slow down, and then it might need to speed up again and then slow down. And in these examples, I'm standing up, I'm in my yard, but you can absolutely do this in your bed if that's where you're at, in a chair. You can do it lying down. It might just look a lot smaller than I was doing in my examples. So the other type of survival state is a shutdown or a freeze state. And again, there can be some variation within that. But the main difference is you're going to find that your body wants to be still. It wants to often curl up, curl inward. It might feel hard to move. It might feel like weighted or sluggish limbs. Alternately, it might feel like, where even is my body? I'm not in my body. What do you mean, what is the impulse of my body? I can't even figure out where it's at. Often there's like a strong disassociation that happens where the body might just feel numb. You might find yourself kind of staring off into space, not really seeing anything. Mind might kind of just be wandering or seemingly offline. You might feel cold, or you might just not feel anything at all. Alternately, you might have a sensitivity to sound and to light. Everything might feel a little too bright, a little too loud, or you might not even notice the sounds and things that are happening around you. So when you're in that kind of state, again, we're going to move with the impulses of the body If the body is telling you, I need to be still, I need to curl up, I need to be away from all of this stuff that's happening, then that's what you want to do. Go ahead and find yourself a space where you can be maybe in a dark room, where you can cover yourself with blankets. If you have a weighted blanket, that's even better. So just curling up, getting into that fetal position, pulling the blankets over your head maybe. Hugging a pillow is really helpful, and or hugging a cat, as the case may be. My cat insisted on being a helpful demonstration in this example. But honestly, if you have a pet that will curl up with you, that will let you kind of cuddle with it, then that is fantastic. That can be very regulating. Curl up, hug a pillow, hug a pet. If you can put your back to something, maybe put a pillow behind you, or in this example, I have my back to the couch, then that can be really helpful as well. So you want to feel that there is some kind of support and protection behind you, in front of you, on all sides if possible. And then once you've given yourself some time in that space, and it may take a while, then you want to start to bring in some really small movements. And that can look like just one finger kind of curling and uncurling, like I'm doing here. And then that might move into a couple of fingers, or all of your fingers just slowly moving, curling, uncurling, just waving, moving around. And then really taking your time, following the impulses of the body, allowing that movement to come into the hands, into the wrists, into the arms, and eventually into the whole body. As I said, you don't want to rush this, so, give yourself as much time as you need. There have been times where I needed to stay curled up for most of a day, and sometimes there was only a few minutes. It kind of just depends on the trigger and the situation and how your nervous system is doing that day. But if you can slowly start to move a finger or two, and ideally you want to watch that finger moving. So in engaging your eyes as well, open your eyes and watch the movement happening, and then just let it grow naturally into the body. Another thing that can be helpful is smelling an essential oil, or something very strong smelling like a lemon. Also, grabbing ice or splashing your face with ice water. Those can be great tools for when you're just disconnected from your body and feeling like I'm just totally numb, I'm not even here, where even is my body, what are its impulses? Those can be good tools for just reconnecting with the present moment and reconnecting with the body in order to start to engage some of these other practices. So I just want to reiterate that you're going to allow the impulses of your body to inform your practice, and not just like, oh, I think I'm in this state, and so I'm going to do these 5 tools that Cedar said to do. But as you begin to engage with movement, how does that feel? Does it feel like I want to keep moving in this way, or does my body want something different? Or as you curl up, is that feeling supportive, or is it that your body needs something else in that moment? So that's the most important thing I want to convey, is we're actually going to follow the impulses of your body, because that's going to show you how to complete the cycle of the nervous system response. Hopefully that's helpful, and the next time you experience a trigger, you can use some of these tools. And please let me know how it goes. If you do, please drop a comment. And if you want to learn more about these different nervous system states and the tools to use when they become chronic, then you want to check out my free mini masterclass, Decode Your Nervous System. It's right at the top of my website, because the tools you're going to use for a chronic nervous system state is very different from what I just described, which is for an acute, in the moment, SOS, I'm triggered, what do I do kind of situation. So those somatic tools are often going to be a very different tool set, and it's really good to have both. So check out that video, it's linked in the comments, and please like and subscribe to this channel if you'd like to see more videos like this. Thank you.